Hello, Facebook.
Yeah.
Hello, YouTube.
Yes.
Hello, people who came to watch the Can't Tell Us Nothing show. Thank you
Get
for hanging
on
out
it.
with us.
Yeah, new special guest today too.
New special guest today joining us as we discuss whatever's going on, give our opinions, talk about topics, current events, our lives, whatever. But we use all of that to create improv scenes around the spot. We just make them up as we go. You'll know when they happen. We'll set the scene. We'll call scene at the end, and we'll mix a discussion all up in it. I think John compares it to a gumbo.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
throwing
That's
everything
right.
in that pot, throwing everything in the pot.
Throwing
Yeah,
everything in the pot. Everything in
yeah,
the pot. And
yeah.
sometimes we're joined by special guests, man. John, you brought someone today.
Absolutely, man. So this guy, we had a conversation a while back, but he doesn't understand how much I admired him in high school. Um, Always positive. He was older than me. He played football with me. We call it, if you're from Dayton, Ohio, I'm sure you heard of the men of Chaminade. You've heard of Chaminade Julienne. Yeah, back in the 2000s was a football powerhouse. But we had a lot of guys that were also multi-talented. And one of those guys goes by the name of Mike Mixed Logic Jones.
Yes.
Yes. My friend Mike Jones on the podcast today, man. How you doing, man?
I never knew that, man. Hey, that's awesome, brother. And I'm proud of you.
Thanks,
Oh,
man.
he's proud of John.
I didn't even know that. Because you know
Yeah.
what, man? For real, I don't know if everybody recalls how in high school. Like I remember high school, but I've been experienced so much. Like between graduating, being 16, all the way through college till 30s, like 16 years later.
Yeah.
So I don't even remember that. So it's like I always wonder. It's cool to hear you from high school and you're in your adult now, and you kind of reflect on, hey, do I still reflect that today? You know, that's kind of cool. That's cool, man. I appreciate that, brother.
No problem, man. I mean, of course, man.
Hey, John was the beat.
John was a who?
Well, what'd you say, Mike? It kind of went out a little
John was the beast. Was that DB? He was the man.
Mm-hmm.
He is the workhorse.
Oh, really? Yeah, I can see that.
bit. Yeah.
I can see that.
And my first introduction to defense, man, Mike was one of those people when I came over to defense in high school that he always had a swagger about him. And if you play defense, you know, part of that is being able to have the swagger, you know, to be the aggressor, right? And, you know, the defense was always, I technically had way more fun playing defense than any offense I've ever done because of that. So it means a lot for you to even remember me in high school. I mean, shoot, my back hurt right now. And I took my mentor, my mentor, I took him out to play basketball. We lost and I hurt my back. I was like, dang. You know? Oh, I think we lost you again. We didn't hear that. What'd you say, Mike? Did y'all hear? I didn't hear it again.
Did he say anything?
I think it's freezing. I think you're freezing, Mike.
It skipped a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I keep skipping. Let me see if I'm add on.
Never do well with this is the third time me doing StreamYard. I'm sorry.
Nah, man, it's okay, man. We trying to get it together with StreamYard. We're trying to do this, man. It's okay. We'll power through it, man. But long story short, man, for all the people watching today, this dude was a part of my high school life. And I never really seen him do anything crazy, like disloyal. Like, you're one of those people I can honestly say, reflecting back, you were a pretty righteous dude, man. Which is one of the things I admired about you. Like, no matter what was going on, you had a righteousness about you and you wanted to carry yourself in a certain way. And that was dope. That was dope to see. But see, Tom, welcome you to the pod, man. We lost him.
We lost him.
Okay. We have some technical difficulties for everybody listening. We'll see if Mike jumps back on, but we'll keep going with the pod.
Yeah. What you're describing makes me think of, like, there was something about Mike that you appreciated, you respected back in high school, and it made me think, like, reflecting on ourselves back in high school. Why do you think people liked you, and do you still have that trait, whether it's charisma or swagger or whatever it was? Like, have you carried that with you into your adulthood, or are there certain aspects of your high school life that you just sort of left behind?
For me, I can definitely say I've went through a transformation. There's a lot of me that I've had to transform, but I guess the thing, if I had to say what made people like me in high school, was probably I've always tried to be intentional about my friendship and about my relationships with people. On the other side of that, I don't really care too much for like small talk. So it's like I do it because I don't like small talk. So I can come off rude if somebody's like, "Hey, how's your day? I like, your pen," or whatever. You don't really care about me. You're talking to me because you want something, or you're talking to me because you're buying time. And a lot of people have social problems. Maybe they don't like talking, right? But for me, if I met somebody I was like intrigued by, I try to make it my point to let them know and, give them the flowers or be kind to them as much as I could without, lying to them, because I like being that guy, right? I like being a guy who, you may think I'm somebody else, but I'm always going to try to treat you with respect. I'm always going to be kind. And I think that's something I've always done for the most part. That hasn't changed, but there's been a lot of things I've changed since high school. How I viewed the world, how I view dating, what was important to me, what was important for me to go after. In high school, I really didn't like. It was more football, but football was really just a vehicle. Deep down, I knew it, but it took time for me to grow to really realize that. And if I'd have realized it earlier, I probably would have met you guys like earlier. You know what I'm
saying? You gonna leave Ohio and find us?
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. That's a
Mike,
good one.
You there, Mike? Let me see. You hear us? Yeah, try to get him back. Give him some time and see if we can get him squared away. But yeah, that was a good question, Antoine. I mean,
Thank you. I think for me, like, it's one of those that I don't even really think about until I reflect back. I'm like, yeah, why did people hang out with me? I think if I was, to be honest, I think it was possibly, I was a quiet kid. Definitely wasn't like a class clown, not center of attention, not that type of dude. But I do believe I had a quiet humor to myself. Like, the people I did talk to, we would laugh pretty often.
Yeah.
Also, I also consider myself a really good listener. Like, if people just want to talk, I have an ear for it. I got two of them, and feel free to talk. And I think people just appreciate someone just willing to listen to them and try to approach from an understanding way. And I will say I've carried that with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've always been a people watcher, so I've always like
that too.
Part of my listening and kind of what you were saying, Antoine, to me, I love to know how people think. Like I like to hear people's stories, where they came from. Part of it is so that it kind of expands the world for me, and part of it is just I'm just nosy. Like I'm just like, what's up with this guy? I want to figure out how they approach life. So I've always tried to listen intentionally when people will share who they were with me, and I know that laughter is always like it's a lubricator, right? Like you could if somebody knows you have a sense of humor, they're more likely to trust you and communicate with you versus the other, you know. So
True. Yes.
Yeah, my sense of humor has always been there. It's probably gotten crazier since.
But were you a class clown? Were you funny guy up in? You were, because I remember you would tell stories like you guys would like perform in front of the class.
Well, that was like so when I got to high school, you know, I went to CJ was a Catholic high school, and this was Catholic. It wasn't like Sister Act nuns Catholic, you know.
What kind? Whoa! What other kind is there?
Well, we had nuns, but they weren't like, you know, we had nuns and brothers, but they weren't walking around with, you know, stuff on.
Well, they wait! Don't gloss over that.
They were plain clothes. They were plain clothes.
What?
Plain clothes.
Wait a minute.
More liberal. It's a liberal, you know.
Whoa!
That's not fair. Like
at all.
Why not?
That's the whole thing of. That's the uniform is the job, and I mean it's the person, and the person is the uniform. How do you do?
I mean, come on, you can't wear that uniform forever.
Think they do.
Well, I think if you, I don't know what I have to go check, but I know I didn't see any nuns wearing the nun gear, the swag,
really
during school hours, and I don't think I've ever seen any when there was chapel.
You know what? This is so unsettling. I could have been at grocery stores with nuns and didn't know. I could have just been doing like at the move.
I wish Mike don't. If Mike could hear this, hopefully jump in on this. But my freshman year, this was one of the funniest memories from the church. I guess you could call it staff. So we had a guy named Brother Pat. Shout out to Brother Pat if you listen to this, or do listen to it in the future. Brother Pat was an ex-wrestler, but he had committed his life to God, right? He's Brother Pat. And one day, the upperclassmen were throwing this food fight in the cafeteria, and Brother Pat got hit with all of the, you know, mustard, mayonnaise, all that kind of stuff. And I remember as we were coming down to go to this lunch, we heard the commotion, but nobody knew what was going on. You just see a bunch of teenagers get thrown out of the cafeteria by Brother Pat. He was throwing him out the ring of Battle Royal. I remember everybody was like, yo, that's Brother Pat. What the heck going on? But it was crazy. Like we had a Sister Damien. Shout out to Sister Damien. I love Sister Damien, but everybody was scared of her because her voice was really deep. And she never wore deodorant. So she would like teach a class and have her armpit right on the fan, and it would just blow to everybody in the classroom.
She did that on purpose.
Yeah,
right. But she was cool. Like she wasn't
power
like
move.
You know, she was. Yes. Yeah, it was definitely a power move. Yeah, nobody messed with Sister Damien.
This almost sounds like you went to what's the X-Men school? Like all these people with these superpowers, like these special characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Can you just imagine the priest, or is it a brother? A priest? He's a priest, right? Who dedicated? Yeah, and he's an ex-wrestler, and he's got that skill set. And you just wow.
Yep. And I mean, and Brother Pat was like, he was super nice, man. At first, like he was like I remember when Brother Pat turned dark side, man. I'll never forget this. Brother Pat was like, let's call him a teddy bear when he first got into like high school. He was teaching freshmen, and you know, everybody was just coming at his neck because he was over nice. He was too nice. And I think somebody, let's just say, took advantage of his niceness one day, and he was really embarrassed. Well, that next day, he came in. It was like major pain. Like he is straight up just flipped the script on us, man. He was like, no jokes. Don't laugh at me. You're going to get a quiz whenever I want to, and you better be ready. You better read every night. You better do all these things. We're like, Brother Pat, what's going on, man? Like, you gave me a peppermint 2 days ago. And he's like, sit in the class, sit down. Ain't nobody friends with me right now, right? And then not too shortly after that is when I saw him, WWE and people out of the cafeteria. So, I mean, like I wish
we cut to Brother Pat in the principal's office. We gotta look, Brother Pat. You know I love you, but word around schools that you've been going to the dark side lately. You used to be so nice. You were a teddy bear. You're a big panda. Now people are saying you're rude. You're short with people. I've even gotten a few claims that you've been suplexing students. Brother Pat, what's going on?
Well, when I came into this job, I remember getting on my knees and praying to God, and he told me this would be the most important job I ever took in my life. And I just thought maybe he wanted me to sit here and speak the word of God to all of these young children. But when I got in there, it's not what I found. Kids were writing horrible notes about me and talking about how round I looked and how I was terrible as a wrestler. So I had to do something about that.
See, Brother Pat, that's the thing. Remember, you took two vows when you signed up to be a teacher here. One is to preach the word of God to their students because they need it. And two is to keep your special powers on lock. You know that all the teachers in the school have special powers, but we do not use them. All right? Because they're from the devil. They're from Satan. We only use the word of God to change here. All right? So remember that when they're stressing you out, because they're going to try it. The kids are going to try you, but you can't let the darkness take you, Brother Pat.
Why does the darkness have to come through the children? I thought the darkness was out in the world with the evil, got cartels, and I'm seeing Lucifer in the face of these kids.
We cut to one of the students talking to a guy outside. The guy's outside hanging on the fence. Hey kid, what's that backpack say? Amechi, come over here. Come over here. Yeah. The other kids didn't work out. I've been paying them to antagonize. You got a teacher in there named Brother Pat?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
I know him. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah. I understand he joined it. He dedicated his life to God and came over here to teach kids. But he owes me a rematch. Money Man Moth Randy Ross, was supposed to have the belt. He retired before I could get a chance of getting my belt back. So I'm gonna pay you. I was paying.
He took your belt and then retired, so you couldn't get your belt back.
No, he won the belt, and I'm doing a rematch. I'm doing a rematch to try to get the belt back. And he dedicated his life to God, tried to hide away here. But I need somebody to get him out. He's in here pretending, but I need him to get free. So the last kid got expelled, but I'm gonna start paying you. How much you need? About $5, $10, $20. I need you to just, get him all riled up. I need to see him so that my man Randy Ross can get his rematch.
Whatever you got. I don't really like the guy, so I'll take whatever you give him. Yeah.
I'm throwing this money over the fence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is it in quarters?
That's all I got. I need the rematch, man.
Okay.
I'm not getting no endorsements no more. I got to get him back in the ring. That's the biggest. People want to see that match.
Okay.
All right.
I'll antagonize him and get him kicked out of here, I guess.
Good. Just enough. Get him out to this playground. I got my gear in the back. I'm gonna change up. If you get him out here, I'm gonna meet him out here in the middle, and we going. I got the news cameras and everybody. They coming out to see this.
Okay. I'll get him.
Good.
Okay. Hey, Brother Pat.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Sorry, I know. I see you eating your lunch. But you should go outside and maybe, take your shirt off and oil up a little bit, and like you know how you used to do back when you were like on TV.
I thought we had a discussion. We wouldn't bring up my past work experience.
But everybody loves what you used to do. It was great. It was wonderful. You made so many people happy.
Oh yeah.
You don't make us happy anymore.
Well, I'm not supposed to make you happy. I'm your teacher, son. But since you're flattering me, what was your favorite wrestler I ever dealt with?
Favorite wrestler you ever dealt with?
Yeah, you know that's what I used to say.
I mean, you know, your last match felt a little incomplete. You know, usually when somebody wins a title, they go on and they give an interview where they talk some mess, or let the other guy have a rematch or something. You never did that.
I mean, that wasn't my character. I was a religious wrestler. After I body slammed somebody, I would take a knee and pray. That was my acceptance. That's how I do things. Are you saying that's not? I thought you said you liked me.
Yeah, I did, but you left without fulfilling your legacy. You have to make sure that nobody wants to wrestle you anymore. And I think a lot of people still want to wrestle you.
You think there's still people that want to wrestle Brother Pat? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Who? Tell me right now. Who? I'll put this tuna fish sandwich down right now.
You know the guy you wanted the title from? He has a name. Starts with an M. He's outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My old foe.
Mm-hmm.
And as brother Pat is strutting down the hall to the door, just before he goes outside, he sees the principal standing there. Where do you think you're going, Brother Pat?
I was there was some business I needed to go deal with outside.
Oh, I'm well aware. You got, what was the name? Money Man Randy Savage or something? Whatever it was.
Yeah.
He's been out there yelling at kids all day to challenge you. So I got a challenge for you, Brother Pat. I got a challenge for you. You go out there and you resolve this with the word. Not with your muscles, not with your pile drivers, not with your body slams, but with the word. Can you do that? If you can do that, you still have a job here.
I mean, they out there talking about I didn't go out with my legacy. I mean, that's harsh words. I'm a wrestler, man.
Okay, well, I'm sure you'll figure it out. I'm sure you'll make the right choice. The principal walks away dramatically.
Listen here.
There you are right there. You take that white collar off. You just faking the funk. You know you're not a priest. You owe me, Brother Pat. Or should I call you by your real wrestler name? Should I?
You don't have to do anything.
All right.
You
Put
ain't
him
gotta
down.
do anything.
Patrick, praying pugilist. All right. It's time now. You about to meet Money Man, Randy Ross, one more time so I can get the title back.
Randy, what is this about? Huh? You haven't been getting your union checks?
No, and they're really, really low. And the endorsements aren't coming in either. I had that one with the yogurt company. I mean, they dropped me, man. Kids aren't eating yogurt like they used to. And they said, you should do something else with your life. This whole money cape, money headband, money armbands, all the money stuff. They said that, most kids are capitalists. They're not even dealing with this stuff anymore, man.
That's true. What I think you should do, you should turn your life over to God. He has a lot in store for you, Randy. Instead of Money Man, you could be Holy Man.
Wow. Oh, it looks like you look like you're doing pretty good. Is that is he managing your career now? You got God?
Well, God has been doing he's been slacking on my career. He's only been sending me a bunch of children. But as far as me teaching, I can't complain,
No, I mean, I know you still gotta wrestle, man. You had the moves, the suplexes.
Yeah,
the DDTs.
That was me.
Man. Yeah. Nobody worked the ring like you, man. I know you haven't given all of that up.
Well, to tell you the truth, God made me give it up.
Now, either this guy's managing you or like he's like against you. What's going on, man? One minute you said join him, everything's great, and now it doesn't sound like he's encouraging you to be your best self, who you really are, man.
I mean, let's just say this is not a place for wrestlers. If you catch my drift, Randy, I'm a changed man. I teach history, AP history. Okay, and every now and then, some students get out of line, and I have to, give them the old triangle choke.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. You still get to choke them. The triangle choke gets the work.
Yeah, it doesn't leave any marks, around the neck. Kids don't, they just call them passion marks,
That's good.
But to be honest, Randy, I always admire how free you were walking around with money signs all over your body and talking to people crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You should think about joining the church.
Yeah. Sound like you're doing pretty good. Get to choke somebody every now and then. Steady paycheck. You look happy. You look like you're doing well for yourself. All right, I'm in.
Well, let me introduce you to the principal.
And scene.
Hey, Mike, can you hear us? Is everything?
How's it going, Mike?
Good? Can you hear?
Hey.
Can you hear?
Yo.
Is that no? Yep. Okay.
So we heard you. Yeah, we heard you. Okay. One second. Yeah, we can't. We're hearing sounds. Let me message you.
In a weird way, some of the details that scene reminded me of. I saw Lean on Me for the first time recently. Morgan Freeman, 1989 movie. And early on in the movie, when he's making a speech to the teachers, he mentions a dude named Reverend Slappy, who works the janitorial staff. I think he heads it up. And he's like, Reverend Slappy, da-da-da, in the janitorial service. And they never discuss why he's called Reverend Slappy. He never really comes up again. I was just like, are we not going to talk about Reverend Slappy, the janitor?
That's a weird detail to have.
Isn't it? Yeah, what did they edit out of that movie about?
He had a whole side story that never got told.
And if that's his given name, his real name, what a horrible name to have as you work around children, right? Or Mr. Slappy. I'm Mr. Slappy.
Mr. Slappy.
Yeah, right. I mean, as opposed to Reverend, that's an earned title. But if he was born so and so Slappy.
Oh no, a long line of Slappies. But it was a good movie. Good movie. I enjoyed it.
Glad you catching up. I was thinking about that the other day. It was Antoine's got some stuff to watch.
Yep. Hold on, let's check in, y'all. I'm about to
try to
reach Mike real quick.
Okay.
I just looked up the Wikipedia, and in the cast list it says Reverend Herschel Slappy, played by himself. That's the real dude.
Herschel Slappy.
Reverend Herschel Slappy.
Herschel Slappy.
Wait, so he is really a reverend, playing a janitor, or he's actually a janitor who's a reverend, and he just wanted wrong for the movie.
These are the questions I walked away from the movie with. What is the story with Reverend Slappy?
I'm hoping that he had the idea for the screenplay. I'm hoping that this was like his work. Like people like, hey, Slappy, hey, Reverend, how you doing today? Oh, good. How's your script coming? All right.
It's coming all right.
Doing all right.
I'm gonna keep cleaning these halls, but I'll work on it. And then he put himself in it like Quentin Tarantino.
That's exactly, which would explain that would explain the nod, like just the cameo, the little Reverend Slappy. That's it. Because he wrote it. It's his work.
I like that. We'll go with that story. That sounds good to me.
So good. But a janitor would know a lot of details about the school, what happened. You know, they're busy doing their thing. They come in contact with all kinds of interactions. I'm sure the principal's office wasn't off limits. He knew what let me see, Lean On Me was, what's his name?
Morgan Freeman?
Morgan, yeah. What's the real guy's name?
Clark.
Gosh, Clark.
Crazy Joe.
Mr. Clark. Yeah, he knew what Mr. Clark was up to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lots of access.
And I like that you're watching these movies now because they're like fresh on your mind, and you can point to stuff that we might have missed because it's been so long. This is good.
You know, after I watched it, I was thinking about the I don't know if you'd call it a trope or the genre of the school in trouble and the teacher that comes to save it. Like there was a whole slew of them from like the late 80s to early aughts, and then they sort of disappeared. When's the last time you seen a show or movie like that?
We don't want to save schools anymore. We gave up on that.
We fixed it. No, we didn't fix schools. We don't need to make movies about them anymore. We're just like, these movies aren't working.
Moved on to dance movies. Yeah. We moved on to a dance movie trying to save the rec center with the prize money from the contest. And then I don't know what we've done after that.
Oh, that's actually a good point. The dance phenomenon that occurred after that. The series of dance movies.
Yes.
What series of dance movies? I'm lost. Sorry, okay. Our guests had some connectivity issues with StreamYard, so we will reschedule and have them back on. Okay. And just keep it rolling with the pod.
Okay. Oh,
that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Antoine was saying that he just watched Lean On Me, right?
Lean On Me,
the movie.
Yes.
And so we talked about one of the characters in there, and then we went on to Antoine saying that they stopped making those school in trouble movies. You know, we had a little slew of those and they went away. And then Amechi just pointed out that after that we got the dance movies. Like With
you got Serves, the Honeys, the Step Up to the Streets.
You forgot Save, what was it called?
Save the Last Dance.
Save the Last Dance.
By the way, I hated dance movies, by the way. Hated them.
They usually don't hold up. Like if you go back and watch them,
because I know dancers. And dancers don't act like that. They don't talk like that. They don't just start talking and break out into dance and all that. I mean, they do, but not like that. So
they don't get angry and then like go dance it out somewhere
and breaking stuff
in the streets
in when it's raining and all that. I do remember the bad student movies. That was coming out of the 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was like 80s, early 90s. There was like a whole bunch of them.
So that makes me think about, I was watching Sesame Street last night with my daughters. The original, the pilot. Original.
Did you
pilot episode? This man had the pork chop sideburns on the side of his face.
Was it Gordon?
I think so. And man, I was like, okay. Yep, Electric Boogaloo, Shauna. Yep, Electric Boogaloo.
But Drumline, no, not Drumline, Lord. Stomp the Yard, I will still sit down and watch it because there was dancing in it, but it wasn't about him like being a dancer. Like he didn't go to college to to like to crump.
Yeah.
He went to college. That was a part of it. So I think as long as dance is kind of like it's the through line and not the thing that they're going to be, it's not.
It's not how they're going to save everything.
Exactly.
By dancing.
Yeah, they didn't save the college by dancing, right? At all.
But I will say my favorite dance movie, it's not considered a dance movie, it's more like a long music video, was a movie Michael Jackson came out with called Moonwalker. And I think I've watched Moonwalker probably 1,000,000 times.
Me too. I watched it so many times when I was a kid.
It's such a great movie. It's such a great, like,
half of it just like music videos, and then it's like this experimental, weird. I don't know what to call it.
It's very experimental. It's very like it's very experimental. But I remember specifically there was 2 scenes that used to like just blow my mind in the movie. One, Michael Jackson would turn into this really fast car because the whole time people are chasing Michael Jackson. That's the whole thing. Everyone's chasing him, trying to get him. You know, either they're trying to get him because they're fans or they're trying to get him because they're haters or whatever. But nonetheless, he turns to this super fast car, a DeLorean, and he just takes off. He pulls up to this bar, and you know, I think they have him surrounded. He runs into the bar, and then he changes clothes. When he comes in, he has on this all white suit, and his hat is super cool. That's the scene where he does the most famous lean. And all that, right? Well, that was a part of a movie called Moonwalk. And it was crazy. Like, but to me, I would say probably the most. I haven't heard many people talk about that movie, but it was an incredible movie. Like, it was like, then there's some kids. Like, I think he ended up getting captured, and then he turns into like a robot, and then he like it was crazy, man. Michael
When's
Jackson
the last time you guys have seen that movie? When's the last time you watched
this would have been
years.
I don't know.
Years.
I probably saw it last in the 90s.
We should watch it again. We should do like a C-ton. I've never seen it.
Oh my God.
Is it a full-length movie or is it like a really long video?
It's called Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. It goes through my grandmother had it taped. So I don't know if some of the stuff that she taped was a part of like the special that leads up to the movie, but the movie itself is pretty dope. Like, it's pretty, like, you know, Michael Jackson was in a shootout. He was in a shootout, like in the movie. Like, he really was. Like, you got to see the movie. It sounds crazy, but I'm gonna share the actual thing, because I remember watching this going, is this a real movie? Because this is fucking crazy. See, that's when he turned into the robot.
Okay.
So Michael Jackson is a robot. Here's the cover. Of course, spaceships were in it. Yep, he had a spaceship. I think he turned into a spaceship and took off.
Who wrote this one?
I don't know.
Man, it was just. See, when you have unlimited amount,
Joe Pesci was in it.
Yeah, Joe Pesci's a bad guy. Yeah.
And he eats peanuts. He just eats a bunch of peanuts and just like he has an underground lair, and that's all. He eats peanuts and has like spiders everywhere. Man, I'm about to watch this movie tonight, man.
You work yourself.
I just got hyped, man. I forgot. Like,
have you? Let me ask you something. You know, back in the day of, I guess, limited entertainment and when cassette tapes were big, do you think you have watched a movie via Netflix or whatever kind of streaming situation we have now? Do you think you've watched a movie as many times as you have watched a cassette movie that you played like multiple times? You think you watched the cassette a whole lot more than you watched?
Absolutely.
Probably because of choices and just, I don't know, we were just holding on to them cassette tapes, man. That was for real. You had a tape, you would just pop it in, pop it back in, rewind and pop it in. Wow.
Also, pause for a moment. Shauna, I do remember the Dancing Bunny. That was my first. That was the number one favorite part of the movie.
And the dance off there.
It's the dance off with the rabbit in the desert where he turns into the mountain.
How did this script get approved?
Because it had Michael Jackson starring in it.
I need somebody to research
Michael Jackson. It's one of my favorite movies as a kid. I mean, my mind was blown. I mean, there's a matter of fact, I'll tell you another music video if Shauna remembers this. Do you remember it was called Leave Me Alone? I think the song was called Leave Me Alone or just Leave Me Alone, where Michael Jackson travels to a theme park with Bubbles, and they're in like a little whatever, right? Going like you're going through the Magic Mountain in Disney. And in the actual theme park, it's a Michael Jackson theme park. So he's seen all his music videos, all of his celebrity friends. He sees the elephant man bones that's in there dancing. He's even like, it's crazy. And then at the end of the video, you realize that Michael Jackson is actually the theme park. And he gets up, he breaks up, he stands up, he knocks off the roller coaster, he knocks off the Ferris wheel, and you're like, oh my God. I'm like just stimulated, just blown away. But to answer your question, no, I don't watch movies the way I did back then. Like I have watched Netflix movies. Like I'll watch 25 minutes, I'll get a notification and I go, oh, I'm gonna go check this out, or I'll do worse. Sometimes I'll be watching a movie, watching YouTube, and watching Facebook at the same time. And never
nothing. Yeah, you're not fully watching nothing. I'm not willing to watch Moonwalker. I'm only willing to watch the directors. I'll only watch it if it has director's comments and or a making of, because I need details. I can't
You gotta see it first.
You gotta see it first.
You gotta see it
and
first.
then watch it with director commentary.
It doesn't do it justice.
I've already formed an opinion. I don't need to like suspend my belief.
For the record, according to IMDb, Michael Jackson wrote the story, and some dude named David Newman wrote the screenplay. So,
there you go. I want to be a rocket. I'm a
I mean, he like I'll say this: it's an experimental anthology musical film. That's what it's classified as, which explains it perfect. If Kanye West is kind of like if you watched Kanye West's Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, if you saw the film that came with the music video, then you'd be like, oh, like you would probably thought he was really out there, but his music video, Dark Twisted Fantasy, holds nothing to Michael Jackson dancing with a bunny, turning into a robot. He turned into a Black Panther. He got in a shootout. He was getting chased by all of Hollywood. Like all of the characters in Hollywood was chasing him in this video. He was literally hiding out in the Warner Brothers closet. He puts on a bunny hat, and that's how he disguises himself to walk around Hollywood studios. And everyone's like, hey, is that Michael Jackson? Because, of course, he does the Michael Jackson dance move. And then everybody at the studio, all the tour people, even the cops, are chasing Michael Jackson all the way out in the desert. It's one of the most exhilarating music videos. Yeah, and that song's called Speed Demon.
It sounds like, I'm sorry, I'm still going back to the movie, but it just sounds like whatever technology is out, like if it's CGI, if it's, whatever, it's like, put it in the movie. Can it make me do this? Put it in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it sounds like.
We cut to the police captain's office as he has 3 detectives that he brought in. Look, I brought in each of you because I need this guy off the streets. And you guys are the best detectives in the city. And I'm hearing that you guys couldn't catch him. And I'm hearing ridiculous stories as to why you cannot catch this guy. So I want to hear from you. I want to hear from each one of you, right? I put you each on the assignment differently.
I'll go first, Chief.
Yeah, let me hear.
I'll go first.
I want to hear. I need some sense.
So I had Mitchell Jackson cornered. All right. Mm-hmm. He was cornered. I followed him. I had 5 guys surround him. We had guys on top of the building. He was standing in an alley, dead to rights.
All right.
When I came up to him to offer to put the handcuffs on him, he turned into the handcuffs.
What?
Nobody knows where the handcuffs went, Chief. No one.
He turned into the handcuffs.
He turned into a pair of handcuffs.
What does that even mean? You were holding the handcuffs. You should have had him right there.
But I didn't know which pair of handcuffs he turned into.
Oh,
Chief.
there were two handcuffs.
I didn't know if they were mine or the other ones because, you know, it was so confusing.
So what you do with the two handcuffs?
Well, I took them to a pawn shop to see if the pawn shop store owner could recognize a real handcuff from a fake handcuff. And of course, he didn't recognize it. I did buy a necklace in there, and when I turned around, Mitchell Jackson, it took off. He took the police car.
God damn it, Detective Myles.
The guy is great. I think he was actually the pawn store owner at one point. But I haven't ruled it out yet. I haven't ruled it.
You know you've gotten in trouble for going to that pawn shop before. You can't be going to that on company time, but we won't get into that right now. I need some answers, goddammit. What about you, Tandi? Come on, you gotta have a lead on this guy or something.
All right. I thought I really had him. Okay. We ran him down to a dead end. The only thing in the dead end was a donut shop. So we know he went into the donut shop. We go inside. All right. We go inside. I'm having everybody case the joint, look around, go to all the corners everywhere. I'm tired there. I'm standing there. I'm like, oh, it's donut shop. I'm a little thirsty. So I get a cup of coffee. Bring it up to my mouth to drink it. I look inside. I see two eyes and I hear, and I was like, oh, and I threw the coffee up. And I was like, was that him? Was it him? I don't know. So I get one of my best guys, bring a broom, mop this up. I need this guy.
You want to mop it up with a broom? That's your first mistake.
I'm sorry. That was the first mistake. I said a mop. Bring a mop. I'm sorry.
Was it a mop or a broom?
I hadn't had my coffee. That's the problem. So I said, bring a mop and mop it up. So he mopped it up. And I was like, yes, save that for evidence. I go out to my car to call you to let you know I got him. I go back, and somebody who works there threw the bucket. They emptied the bucket out into the alleyway. We run out to the alley. There's nothing there. It rains. It's a little bit brown in the rain. We figured that he went up into the sky and came back down and ran out of rain. I don't know what happened. I had that guy.
You think Mitchell Jackson turned from a cup of coffee into a bucket of coffee into a puddle into a rain cloud and rained down on you? That's what you're telling me right now?
No, he did.
God damn it, Tandi. Amechi, help me out here.
Well, I mean, I had him. I had him. Okay. So I track him down, downtown, doing his thing, and I get into this foot chase with him. I'm chasing him across town. I see him running around this corner, going to this house. I run into the house after him, and he's just gone. I look everywhere. He's gone. I had locked the front door, so I know he didn't leave. I stopped my foot and I heard, hey! I was like, he's the house.
He's the house.
He was the house.
You were inside the perp, Amechi?
Yes. So I ran outside.
Wait, you ran outside?
Make sure. Yeah, I had to make sure. So I ran outside. I called my cousin. He's a realtor. We did an appraisal. And I still wasn't sure. So I moved in. And I've been living in for
the house.
Yes. I lived there for a few weeks. And then I woke up one morning and I was outside. So he was the house, he left.
And scene.
I moved in. I think you just bought a house, dude. You were not chasing them.
He went through signing all the papers, getting it inspected. Oh yeah, the real estate values are coming up in this thing. This was a lot the other day. It's great.
It's a person all the time. It's Michael Mitchell Jackson. That's how I think Joe Pesci felt in the movie Moonwalker. He's like, he turned into a what? A car and then a cat? The hell's wrong with this story? Get the hell out of there and get that dude. And then he turned into a robot, man. He literally, you have to watch it. It's so bizarre, man. It's so bizarre that only a child will really get it. Like as a child, I could see why I watched it just over and over and over.
Yeah,
but
that was a video game too.
Yeah.
I heard about the video game.
You dance and you punch people. You do dance moves and people die.
You could be like four different Michael Jacksons. I remember that game. I remember that.
Wow.
Yeah. But on to the next. If you haven't checked out Moonwalker, I highly recommend it. It goes in the art catalog for me. Definitely in experimental filmmaking, but if there was anybody who could have swung, and I don't even think he missed. It said he made money. I think it made 22 million.
Yeah,
made money. And I don't think it was released in theater either, which I could check on that either way. But the next topic I wanted to bring up, I don't know if anybody has seen the new Lil Nas X music video.
I went and watched it after you mentioned it.
Yeah. So the song of this music video is called Montero, and essentially it's been getting a lot of hype from the media and a lot of religious people because of the satanic imagery and I guess some of the other what they would call blasphemous themes that are going on. In my opinion, without having to show the video here and all that, spoiler alert if you haven't. Long story short, Lil Nas X in the video, he's a little kid. A snake seduces him. I guess it turns him dark or kills him. He goes into a magical place in the sky, which I guess is representing of heaven, but they have him chained up, locked down. He's clearly in bondage. It's a beautiful place, but he's clearly not enjoying it. The person who leads this place tells him he's not shit and casts him out and basically casts him to hell. He decides to take the long stripper pole and dance all the way down to hell, in which he arrives in hell and sees the devil sitting on a chair looking like he's deep in thought. And then he goes and he twerks and has a lap dance on the devil right before he snaps his neck. Now, again, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
When I remember when it first came across my YouTube, the first image you see is Lil Nas X. I'm assuming sliding down a pole. And I'll try to let me see if there's an image. I'll show some of the images so that people can get an idea that I'm not just crazy when I'm talking about this. But so that's the devil looking like person. That's him giving a lap dance to the devil.
And Lil Nas X plays everybody in this video, right?
He's a young Eddie Murphy.
All the characters.
Yeah, he's a young Eddie Murphy. So this the snake seducing him, and it was interesting. So where am I going with this? Well, the image popped up on my YouTube, and it was real late, and depending on my mood or the hour, I don't like to take in too many dark themed material, just depending on my spirit. If my spirit is not open, like in a positive mood. Like I don't want to watch something that takes me to a rabbit hole and makes me think about some evil stuff. So I didn't watch it originally. My kid I'm friends with and a mentor, he told me, say, hey, Mr. John, you should actually watch it. I'm not gonna tell you why. Just watch it. I want to hear your opinion. And after I watched it as an artist, I was actually admired that I admired the actual story of the music video. So there was a beginning, middle, and end. I admired the kid's ability to risk. Like that's not an idea that people are going to really accept. They're going to either love it or hate it. And I love those types of ideas from an artist, right? It's either you're going to really, really mess with me or you're going to be like, don't ever talk to me about that kid again. And so I like that. But third, I heard a lot of people's feedback on it and their critique. And the only one to me that holds any weight is not his fault at all. And that's like, what do you do when the children see this video? I don't think that's a Lil Nas X problem. I think it's more or less it's like a structure problem. Like how do you keep a kid from getting anything on the internet any day? You know what I mean? So I wasn't too held up about that, but it did send a lot of shockwaves through the Christian community. It definitely, you know, in my opinion, if I could guess what I think he was trying to say, he was trying to share his I guess his subconscious journey from going from accepting his sexuality, right? And how the world and how people and all these different influences that can pull you away from what it is that you're trying to do. But I sent it to you guys because one, it was a heavy piece of content for me. It was like, this is a visceral video. It ain't Michael Jackson turned into a robot, but it gives you the same vibe as this is a creator who's trying to experiment, who's trying to show a piece of them, and they probably don't care how people feel. So it's kind of like have a reaction to it, right? It was absolutely, I'm trying to get a reaction out of this. But I want to hear you guys' story, Antoine, because Antoine's seen it, and anybody else has seen it. I want to hear y'all opinion.
Sure. So yeah, I think the song is somewhat catchy. I'm not necessarily a Lil Nas X fan. Song's not too bad as songs go, but I think the video, first I didn't quite, I was like, it's an experience. I'll tell you that. It is, like you said, it's a heavy piece of content. He plays all the characters, and he goes in on all of these characters. Like he doesn't dial it in. He's really playing his part on this, so I'll give props for that.
Yeah.
It's a very classic tale of Garden of Eden and I guess descending from heaven into hell. And as far as the message in it, I was a little confused. I was like, I'm not sure what this video is about. The imagery is intense, but not sure what the video is about. I went and listened to the song independent of the video, and then it made more sense. So I was like, oh, if you listen to like the lyrics of the song, it's more about like him being infatuated with someone who is has a lot of vices, and essentially doesn't care about all that. He wants to be a part of all that. So I think once you get that message, it's like, oh, I get it. That's why it's the Garden of Eden thing with the snake and the devil. Like, okay. I do think it's a risky video, but I don't think it's too appalling. I wasn't too like, oh my god, I can't believe he did this sort of thing. Like it's I feel like there's worse stuff out there. I've seen racier videos.
Yeah.
I like that he was ready for the hate. That's what I appreciate the most. He was ready for the fight. He knew. And this kid on Twitter is just he is a true demon. That kid is just he don't care, man. He just cutting them. He just like if there was like a military force for just cutting people on the internet, he'd be like, you know, top. I don't know what
if you see part of it. I don't watch him on Twitter.
So there was one I saw that I had to give him the badge. Can't tell us nothing badge. But long story short, Lil Nas X can get the badge for me because he was getting pushback from people saying that I can't believe you would make this content. What you got to think about the children. And this dude's response was, well, you do realize I talked about lean and adultery and Old Town Road, right? Like, I was like, touche. What do y'all say about that? Right? What do you say about that?
Yeah.
Because and my reasoning for me saying I support him is because I remember listening to a Kids Bop, because of course I got children. I don't listen to it all the time, but two songs that were on Kids Bop album that just blew my mind. One was Old Town Road. And they switched the lean words and all those different words to children's words, which we'll talk about that on another pod. And the other one was the Lizzo. What was that song with Lizzo? That It was the one where she's like, it was one song where it's like it was the song she's performing. You hear it in Lizzo's voice, you feel the emotion from Lizzo, you feel the energy, and you're like, man, like it's one of her biggest songs. Where they had it on the Kids Bop, and they had a young girl trying to maneuver through a lot of the nuances of the song that all adults hear. And I remember thinking, why don't some songs just don't need to be like Do Me Baby, right? Like, would you feel comfortable listening to Do Me Baby on Kids Bop, right? Prince was not making that song to be redone and edited, right? He's making it because the emotion and the theme are very heavy. And I don't want to hear no kid remixing and putting, School Me Baby or whatever.
we cut the Prince in the studio. Hey Prince. Hey Prince.
Yes.
Yeah, listen, hey, we are so glad that you decided to, do the Eddie Murphy thing and jump into the whole kiddie pool thing, making kids music, but it's just ABCs, okay? We just need you to sing the ABC song. You don't have to add any extra imagery. I mean, the first one, we were kind of, we gave you a little license with the Itsy Bitsy Spider, but this one is just the pure ABCs, okay? So no imagery of what you want the alphabet to do, nothing about B taking their clothes off, just ABCs, okay? Just keep it simple. All right, I'm gonna step back out. I'll let you think about it.
Well, before you leave, I wanted to share my opinion. And
oh boy,
I mean, I thought my name was Prince.
Mm-hmm. It is. We're so lucky to have you. We understand what your music is. We get that, but we just thought when you agreed to do it, you knew it was a children's record. Mommy helped me sing my ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, and other children's songs. We knew that we figured you knew when you signed on that we're just going to be making children's music for kids to sing in the daycares and little nursery rhymes. That's it, Prince.
How do you think children got here?
Okay, see, that was the problem. That was the problem that we had with the first song. Okay, all you had to do was just sing the nursery rhyme, the little old lady who lives in the shoe. You went too far with that one. All right, she had so many kids. We all know that. We didn't need to know how or why. Come on, Prince.
I think everybody that listens to music listens to it differently. And I want to change the habit of old nursery rhymes and give them a little soul or even skin.
Can you just try? Can you just try to sing the ABC song one time, please? Let's just do a quick run in here. Let's just see how that goes. Okay, I'm going to step out. Just try it out.
All right, turn my headphones up.
Okay. There, Prince, go ahead.
There once was an A who wanted to be a C, but he needed a D in his life. Oh. Big D. I said a big D.
We cut to the principal's office. All right, Prince. I've been getting reports that you've been taking the students through their alphabet a little bit in a risque fashion. Again, we all gave up our special powers to teach the word here. So, Prince, if you could just please stick to the books that we provide and the Word of God, and just leave your what you were doing before in the past. Can you promise me that, Prince?
You mean making masterful music in the past?
Exactly. You had very special powers in the past to make masterful music, but those powers came from Satan, obviously, because they were so good. So if we can just stick to the word for the children, I think that would be great.
How did the children get here?
Oh,
I mean, that's such an important part of life. Because A, you wanted. God took my powers. I can't sing anymore.
You shouldn't. You gave it up. You took a vow. You took a vow, Prince. Okay?
Can I speak to Brother Pat?
Sure. I think he's shining his belt in his office. Cut the brother Pats off. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
I was about to say, we cut to the janitor's closet. Say, man, is your music singing, Amechi? You getting any? Is your music singing? You hearing any songs, anything?
That was a little weird. I'm not sure what I'm hearing. What are you hearing?
Yeah, it's something about needed a D. It needed a D. It's just been stuck in my head.
Oh yeah. Now you say that. What?
Man, I know. Yeah, this mop water is different today.
Yeah. A wants to be a C.
A wants to be exactly. I don't know what's going on.
Suddenly the door gets kicked in. Freeze, police! Step away from that bucket.
What? It's just a bucket. Wait, what are you
Don't kick it up. He kicks it over. Sprays all around, goes down the drain. No! And scene. And that is that was nothing show. Thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. Shout out to Kelly, Christine.
Oh,
Christy Faye in the chat. Thank you for hanging out with us. Mike Jones.
Yeah, thank you all for hanging in there too. We had through our technical difficulties with our guests. I talked to him. We're gonna reschedule it. But yeah, we're gonna keep it rocking, and we had some fun today. The Michael Jackson, the Mitchell Jackson, Mitchell Jackson villain was awesome.
Yeah, and we should get a Moonwalker episode. I think we should. We'll all watch it and we'll talk about it. But DJ Comfy, please cue up that music and let's take this thing on out. Again, we're the Can't Tell Us Nothing show. You can find us online at C-Ton Improv. Just Google that thing. You can find it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, ctonimprov.com. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Mockingbird. But yeah, check us out. For John, for Tandi, for Amechi, for myself, Antoine, Can't Tell Us Nothing show. Hello, YouTube. Goodbye, Facebook. Tune in every Tuesday at 8:50. We are out.